Hi, everybody. I'm Kimball Sullivan. Um, there's a lot going on. Trump Nation stand up. Trumpism is what the country needs right now. The power of Trump Nation is what's going to put America back on track. Because Trump Nation is not just about Trump anymore. It is, I mean, Trump's a big part of what we're trying to do, but Trump Nation is a little bit bigger than that. It's that idea. Trump Nation represents freedom. Trumpism represents freedom. Trumpism represents that desire, that will to be the best, to be number one. It represents freedom, the will to just be left alone. That's what Trump Nation represents. Trump Nation is more than just Trump. It's an idea of a country where everyone just want to go to work and be left alone. And everybody, at the end of the day, people just want to go to work, pay their taxes, pay their fair share, and be left alone. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, because no one is really asking for much other than to be left alone. We also want fairness. We want fairness across the board. That's what it's all about. Then there are people out here that are the Rittenhouse case. It's something that I haven't talked much about, and for very good reasons. I haven't talked much about it because what's the point? What's the point in talking about something that the very fact that people are trying, first off, it's a self-defense case. So it doesn't really warrant much of my attention or much of anyone's attention. I don't even see why it's in trial. I think it should. I mean, we had the video. The guy was clearly running away. But it's a little bit deeper than that now. There are people that are saying, well, he went there for other reasons. The fact of the matter is he's not on trial for what he went there for. And what he went there for is your opinions and your assumptions. We start convicting people based on that. And what does that lead us? What I do know is Kyle is clearly running away with a firearm, running away from the aggressor. What would you all done in that situation? At the end of the day, and the thing is, the critics that are out here saying, trying to make it about racism, I don't see how a white kid shoot other white people is some kind of way racist. That is what's so bizarre to me. And I don't even want to really get off into that. That's bizarre to me. And then what it is people live on social media. People are brainwashed by Twitter, brainwashed by what goes on social media, brainwashed by the fake news media. People that clearly that cannot articulate a thought of their own. That's why we're in the situation that we're in now, because clearly it was a self-defense case. Really though. So Trump Nation is about taking the country back. Trump Nation is about creating a better future. Trump Nation is about just freedom itself. Because what we need to do is we need to get back to a point to where we have those American values, that competition, hard work pays off. That's what we need to get back to. We need to get back to that. Because right now, we got every American being taxed at the gas pump. Right now, we got every American being taxed when they go to buy goods, the price of food, the price of goods, the price of everything under this president, under sleepy Joe Biden, has been enormous. We're talking about the worst president in American history, at least in modern times. What do you guys think? He at least is the worst in modern times. The most accomplished racist of our generation to become president. The most accomplished racist in modern times to ever become president. I mean, think about it. He actually have the resume to back it up. And y'all out here trying to call Trump racist? Please, this guy here has a 94 crime bill where they ran black people into prisons like they was on a conveyor belt. When it came to the desegregation of buses, he clearly said he didn't want black kids on the bus with his kids. But they're trying to call Trump racist though? Really? No. Who done the most for black people? Donald J. Trump. His crime bill. Trump done a lot. Trump is a smart businessman. Trump talked about when he when the strategic reserves was almost empty. He talked about during a time where our reserves was empty, the price of gas was cheap, the price of oil bottomed out. So what did Donald J. Trump do? Bought up many barrels as he can, 75 million barrels. And now the price of oil, those reserves that Trump bought at a great price, Joe Biden now wants to drain it. And now he's out there begging OPEC for oil. When we was energy independent, for the first time in 75 years, Donald J. Trump had us energy independent. Now, what are we going to do to get that back? How we get that back? Because we need to get that back. And the way we get that back is sticking together. And trust me, the fake news media, whenever he does announce his candidacy, is coming. The BS games that they always play are coming. The nonsense that they do, the fake news that they try to make up is coming. Be prepared. Be prepared, because it's coming. There's no need of us complaining about it. We just got to go harder. The more and more they come with the fake news, the more and more we just got to work harder, because it's going to be a daunting task. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I think we're going to take the House back. I think we're going to take the Senate back. I think the White House should be gone as well. But it's not going to be easy. We'll get there, but it's gonna be a daunting task on our way getting there. It's not gonna be easy by any stretch of the imagination. It's just so much going on that has to be corrected. And I'm not so naive that a lot of stuff can even be corrected in one term. I do think, though, if Trump was in office, a lot of things would change, because the people around the world just respected him more than they respect this president. I mean, think about it. This guy is going to sleep around the world. I mean, at our climate change conference, he's there sleep. Something that he said is very important of our times. Something that needs to be tackled. What is he doing? There sleep. Also, make sure you guys share this video, like the page as well, because we got a lot to talk about. We're getting into it. Because you know what? Another thing that Trump Nation represents is just that common sense politics, common sense decency. That's one thing that Trump Nation represents. That common sense politics. The common sense things like, let's just do this because it's smart. Let's just do that because it makes sense. It's more efficient and it's smart. And that's what Trump brought to the White House. That's why when he came to the White House, he saw us in America's first. America's first. And all the losers, people say, you got to be humble. And only losers talk like that. You want to be the best. Like Dale Earnhardt says, second place is just the first loser. That's what Dale Earnhardt used to say. You want to be the best. Just being the best in your own bubble. Because if you focus on what someone else has, you're never going to be happy. But if you're the best in your own bubble, if you're trying to reach your full potential, if you're trying to be the best version of yourself, that's what Trump Nation represents. Trump Nation, Trumpisms. That's what it represents. What it represents is the anti-Biden's policy. Because I don't know any of you in here that agree with any of Sleepy Joe's policies. Even if you thought really hard, you probably couldn't agree with one of his policies. I can't think of one off the top of my head. And I've been saying, especially since the campaign, the last election, that I have a spaceship on planet Jupiter. And the planet, and you can have the planet itself and the spaceship if you tell me what Sleepy Joe has done for Black people in his entire 47 years in office. I'm yet to hear anyone come pick up their prize. But they were the one who made a campaign about racism. They were the one who called Trump racist. But you can't tell me a single thing that this guy has done to advance you. You can't tell me a single thing that he's done to advance Black people. And when people like me step up and talk about the injustices that he's done against Black people, what do you all do? Defend him. Some of you probably been knowing me or cool with me or whoever in your life for years. You ready to cut them off because they have the audacity to talk about your oppressor. Because they have the audacity to talk about your oppressor. Think about that. You have people out here who you've been cool with, who was once your friend, don't speak to you anymore because you had the audacity to talk about their oppressor and Sleepy Joe Biden. Imagine that, though. How does that work? How do we get there? How do we get to the point where their pocketbooks are being taxed? They're being taxed when they go into stores because of these failed policies, and they still defend them. At some point, you got to think that their own livelihood should come before the supporting a party. Me, I like to consider myself independent. I typically these days lean Republican. I typically vote conservative. That's where I am now. But typically, I'm independent. Now, if I ever ran for a public office, I'll probably run as a Republican. If I decide, I don't know, I want to run for governor of something like that, you never know with me. But, you just never know. But I just don't understand it. I don't understand that logic. And that's what people would talk to me and be like, hey, you used to be a Democrat. Yeah, when I was 20-something years old. I'm in my 30s now. Do you really expect me to think the same way that I thought then? Think about that. And my response is, you think that's how the world works? Your logic is backwards. That's why you're not winning at what you want. If you really think that you're supposed to think the same way that you thought when you were younger, you're supposed to grow. That's what it's all about. It's about growing and being the best version of yourself. It's what, in my opinion, Trump Nation, Trumpisms represents that. It's an idea. It's not even just about Trump, the president, anymore, even though we want Trump to come back in 2024 for sure, because we know what he can do. We know what he can do when the stakes are high. We know he can close a deal. He has a history of doing it in the business world. He has a history of doing it as president of the United States. They didn't like Donald J. Trump because he wasn't a politician that was willing to play with their BS games. Let me say that again. They did not like Donald J. Trump because he wasn't a BS politician that was willing to play their BS games. And that's what it all comes down to. We know these things. That's what it was all about. That's why they didn't want him in. That's what really, it was them that pushed me to Trump. I wasn't always a Trump supporter. But when I took a step back and just said, hold up, everybody's against Donald J. Trump. Everybody wants him gone. Y'all really have our best interest? Yeah, right. Let me start paying attention. And before you know it, I was riding with Trump. I'm riding with the president that I know looks out for the people. I'm riding with the president that took no salary. I'm riding with the president that could have stayed at home on his golf course. The billionaire could have stayed home, but loves the country so much that he decided that he had to get out there and do something. And I think he's going to do it again because he can very well stay home now. But you know what? I think Trump is like, you know what? The stakes are too high. There's people that need him. He got he got grandkids out there. He got his own kids. He got a future to win for the next generation, which is why I think it's going to tip him to running again. Then you got people like DeSantis that's just doing an awesome job in Florida, who I would think is probably one of the best governors in the country. Hands down, without a doubt, DeSantis is one of the best governors in the country. So what we got to do going forward is just continuously push that common sense, logic, continuously be unapologetic in what we believe in, be unapologetic in what we stand for. Because that's what it's all about, because at the end of the day, I mean, we just want at the end of the day, especially when it comes to the next election, we just want things to go the way they're supposed to go. We're confident that we're going to win that we can win the next election. We're confident that with our ability, straight up against Sleepy Joe Biden, that we should be victorious. We're confident that in the midterms, we should be victorious, because there are a lot of people out there that are probably saying, you know what? I'm not necessarily a Trump fan, but I'll take him right now over Sleepy Joe in a heartbeat. And I think that's what a lot of people are saying, because what this guy has done to the American people, I've never seen a president in the history of America fire people from their job. I've never seen a president in the history of America stop people from working, literally trying to stop people from working because they don't want to take his experiment. I mean, seriously though, no. That is not how this works. That's not how democracy works. That's not how we're going to allow this democracy to work. People are standing up. They're fighting back. They're doing what they got to do to win the future and be the best version of themselves. And when I tell you Donald J. Trump will win re-election in a landslide, it won't even be close. And the only reason it's going to be close because you know they're going to try to trick in the book through the fake media. Because the fake media is going to do their job. Trust me on this. Trust the fake media to be fake. Trust them to be who they are. Do not let them surprise you. Trust them to be who they are. That's what you got to start doing. You got to start trusting people to be who they are. If they're a snake, trust them to be a snake. If they're a kind person and they gave you no reason not to trust them, then trust them. But if they gave you no reason to trust them, don't trust them. Don't trust them if they gave you no reason to trust them. Make sure you all share this video, like the page, subscribe to the YouTube channel that's scrolling below, because we're going to get into it. Because I'm going to continue to speak the truth. I'm going to continuously, and no, I will not back down. You will not tell me that I have to be a Democrat because I'm black. You will not tell me I have to be a Sleepy Joe Biden supporter, the man that's done the most harm, inflicted the most harm on my community. Because why would I vote for Sleepy Joe? Why? When he's inflicted the most harm against black people than any politician who's run for president in modern time. This man has put hundreds of thousands of black people in prison for nonviolent drug offenses. Donald J. Trump was the one that was pardoning people who's been in jail for decades, thanks to Sleepy Joe. It was Donald J. Trump. It was Donald J. Trump that ended women being handcuffed to a bed while giving birth. That was Donald J. Trump. It was the guy that y'all said was racist. Donald J. Trump cares about success, winning, and making money. That's what he cares about. I don't really see anything wrong with that. You all see anything wrong with that? Success, winning, and making money. And that's one thing we can take from Trump. Focus on winning and don't worry about what nobody else got to say. Because when you focus on your goal and you focus on winning, nothing can get in your way. And think about it. Trump could have done a lot of stuff to appease people. He could have and not got the job that he wanted done. And they still would have complained anyway. So he just said, you know what? I'm going to get done what I need to get done and let them complain anyway, because it's what they're going to do. It's what they're going to do. Same thing, you know, when it comes to the policy that we believe in, the policy that we push. What about that prosecutor in the Rittenhouse case, waving a gun around in the courtroom with his finger on the trigger? Now, you all out there that is pretty experienced with firearms, who've used the firearm before, know that's the biggest no-no when it comes to gun safety. The biggest no-no. So we have people on the national stage talking about guns who've never shot a gun. We got people who want to make laws on concealed carry, but never carried a gun or even know how it works. That's the problem. You notice how when it comes to guns and things like that, they always have people around that don't know anything about guns. Why not have someone for the NRA on? Why not have just a responsible gun owner on who's experienced with guns? Like, for example, Colion Noir. Why not? Why not? Someone who's a lawyer, who knows the laws as well. Oh, but that won't fit the narrative though, right? I get it. That's right. I hear you, Liv. Delivia. I don't know how to pronounce. I know I'm messing up your name, but yeah, what we have to do to win as well is we just got to be vigilant, and we can't for any second let up on the next election. We can't for any second take our eye off the ball. We can't for any second think we got it all in the bag. Sleepy Joe, his approval ratings are going down like this, but even with that said, we got to act like we got an uphill battle, because we do. Now, they saying his approval rating is what, 38 to 42? Well, I think they're a lot closely into the teens. There's no way they can be that high. I mean, whew, like literally, how can they be that high? But yeah, I mean, Yeah, I don't think it's that many people out there that even liking the job that he's doing. They just won't admit to it, or they just so brainwashed to they will defend anyone that's harming them economically, because that's what he's doing. He's economically castrating the middle class. He's economically castrating the lower class. That's exactly what he's doing, is economically castrating people. And I don't see why anyone would be okay with that. I got a huge problem with that. One of the reasons I supported Trump, because he's authentic. I know he meant what he said and stand for what he means. I knew he was authentic. What we need to do is get rid of Joe Biden come 2024. We need to get rid of both houses of Congress that the Democrats own. I, for one, think we're going to be able to pull that off. At first, I was thinking maybe just one or the other, the Senate or the House. But I'm right now, I'm getting to the point where I'm about to say if we don't get both, it's a failure. I know that's an ambitious outlook. Maybe I'm going a little step too far when I say that is a failure if we don't get both, but we need to get both. We need to get both. Because if nothing else, if we can just stop Sleepy Joe in his tracks so Trump can have something left to fix when he get back in office. He has to have something to fix. You know, he has to have something to build on. We don't want him starting from ground zero. We don't want him dealing with a Democratic run Congress, because if he is, he's not going to be able to get much done. He's not going to have time to really go back and forth with people that's not want to negotiate in good faith. He's not going to have time to do that. So what we have to do is make sure we at least get half of it now. So let's say that. Let's at least get half. Let's at least get one house now. I say that we go out to both houses because I think it's very doable. We go out there and get many governors' houses as possible as we can. Heck, never know. You may look at one day and see me running for one of them. But anyway, there's no hit on there. But I will say this. The Second Amendment is under attack. The First Amendment is under attack. The freedom to just go to work and be left alone and come home is under attack. There are so many different things being under attack right now from every which side that we're in a situation that we haven't been in before. I'm an optimist, so I try to look at the optimistic point of view. It's not. I look at optimism when it comes to when I say, okay, when Trump comes back, he has a chance to be a better president than he was first term. As great as he was, as lit as he was, as the even younger people would say, as lit as Trump was in his first term, he has a chance to have a better second term. Reason being, there's not many presidents, and some of y'all can go through history and look and see, but there's not many presidents who have had a good term like he did and kind of, got screwed for whatever reason, get to come out, sit out for 4 years, see what's going on, see who I can't trust, who I can trust, what I need to change, what I need to tweak, and then kind of study and then go back in 4 years. And when he come back in 4 years, he pretty much knows what to expect. He's not like brand new going in. He knows how to work and how to move around Washington better. Oh yeah, he go back in. It's gonna be like a Michael Jordan comeback. When Michael Jordan came back to save basketball, well, Trump's coming back like Jordan to save the country. That's what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be that epic. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not engaged in hyperbole. But when Donald J. Trump comes back for the second term, it's going to be like a Michael Jordan comeback. No exaggeration. Because this guy here has a chance to get the ball running quickly. He has a chance to get the ball rolling quickly. Right now, if he knows he wants to run, I know he hasn't announced yet. It's one interesting thing I've seen, because the Trump campaign, or should I say Trump himself, or should I say Trump Super PAC, is collecting like $1 million a week going towards a campaign. Now, he may use those funds to help other candidates get elected, or he may be using them for himself because he knows when he runs for again, it's going to be the fight of the century for him to have any chance at winning that White House. It's going to be the election of the century. He's got to pull out all the stops to have any chance to become president 2024. He's very capable of doing so. But another reason why I think if he does run, he's not going to announce too early, because the minute he announced, the rules for that campaign money change. It's drastically different as an announced candidate run for office. But now that he's not in the race, but now that he's not in the race, he gets to he gets to maneuver a little bit differently, because based on the rules are different. It's more legal. It's a lot of legal rules if he announces a candidate that he can't move. But if he hold out as much long as he can and still collecting all that dope, that $1 million a week that campaign is collecting, he gets to move that drastically different. And that's why I think, in my opinion, and Donald J. Trump is a very smart man, he's going to hold out as long as he can. And Rhonda, he hasn't quite announced yet, but he did. I think, put it like this: people that are close to him, people that are in his inner circle, say that it's 90% chance that he's going to run again. That is 90%. Now, Trump did say that his supporters will be very happy. So, and let's be honest, when it comes to Donald J. Trump, now we're talking about the most pettiest person that I know in history. And when I say petty, I'm not meaning it as a slight or a negative against Trump. I'm saying is he feels like he's supposed to be the president of the United States still. There's no way he's going to let that ride. He's coming back. He's coming back to win and to prove that he's the rightful president that can put the country back on track. So my confidence in him in running is about 90% as well. 99%. I think 99% chance that he's going to run again. Unless he just decide, hey, I don't want to run. I'm just going to get behind DeSantis. But now, do you all really think that Trump thinks that anybody else would be a better choice than him? Hell, do we even think anybody else would be a better choice than him? Because I'm going to be honest, I don't think anybody else is a better choice. No, you got an MVP caliber like Donald J. Trump out there that's able and willing to run. If he's wanting to do it, now me personally, would I do it? I mean, I don't know if I would have ran the first time if I was a billionaire. And that just shows how much of a patriot he is. I don't know if I would have ran the first time. That shows, and he didn't have to do it. That shows how much he loves America. I think he's coming back, though. He's going to run again in 2024 because the country needs him. And I'm inclined to believe also that even if he didn't want to run, he's going to change his mind now. Maybe when he first lost, maybe he wasn't thinking about running again. But now, with the way the country is at this point right now, Trump's got kids and grandkids that has a future that he wants to fight for. Future of all kids that he wants to fight for. I feel like at this particular time in history, the country needs him. I don't even think it's about a want. I don't even think it's a, do we want Trump to run for president anymore? Of course we want him to, but it's bigger than that at this point. Hell, we need him. It's a need. It's a necessity. It's an essential now. We need him to run for president again. That's where we are at this point now. And make sure you guys like the page, share the video, share. Invite all your friends to the page as well, because we're growing. And we're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep pushing because we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to get into. We got to stand up for what we believe in. We got to make sure that the other voices out there aren't being silenced because they're scared to speak up and say that they support Trump. Because saying you ride with Trump is just not popular. And guess what, though? You and I don't care. And there's other people out there that need us as well. We speak for the voiceless. We speak for the ones that want to speak up. We speak of the ones that are afraid to say, you know what, I don't agree with this, I don't agree with that, but I do agree with such and such. That's what we are. We're going to that's what it's all about. It's about getting the word out, making our voices heard, being unapologetic about it. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. FJB. FJB. That's what it's all about. Let's go, Brandon. Because you know what? We know we have a president that can put us back on track. He's going to do his part. Let's make sure that you and I do our part. His part's going to be a daunting task. Our part's going to be a daunting task. Our part is we got to go out there and we got to drum up the independents. We got to pull as many independents to the Trump side as we can, because that's where the election is won at. How many independents can we get over? I think we should get a lot. How many independents can we get over to help us win the House and the Senate back? I think we can get a lot. Share this video. Whatever you all are doing out there in the streets as well, because we got to talk about it. Because what we're going to have to do is control the narrative. They control the narrative better than we did last time. Let's be honest. They control the narrative better than we did. They pushed a lot of fake news that ultimately, I guess in the end, that we really couldn't overcome. But we can't make that as an excuse. Not this time. Not when we have this much at stake. Not when we have a country at stake. Not when the middle class is on the cusp of being economically castrated. Not when the lower class is on the verge of being economically castrated. There's too much at stake. There's too many people that need help. There's too many people that could thrive better if it just had common sense policies and common sense politics. That's what we have to get back to. That's what we will get back to. Thank you all for listening and have a great night.